The pandemic has caused the government to implement a large-scale social restriction or PSBB policy that has an impact on various community activities such as economic activities, educational activities, social activities, artistic and cultural activities. The restrictions on community activities were put in place to slow the spread of COVID-19. The government has also issued various policies to overcome the spread of COVID-19 and other policies related to various sectors of society. The implementation of the micro-community activity restriction was finally applied to the community to overcome the increasing number of positive cases of COVID-19 in the community. Culture plays a very important role in human life. As we know, human civilization on Earth is the result of culture. It is noted that Indonesia is one of the countries that has the rich local culture in the world. With the diversity of Indonesian culture that is what attracts other nations to know it. Not even a few of them know it because apart from the diverse culture of Indonesia, it is known to be very unique. In the cultural aspect, the social restraint policies that must be implemented due to the COVID-19 pandemic have an influence, including on traditional activities. Tradition or custom in the simplest sense is something that has been done for a long time and has become part of the life of a group of people, usually from the same country, culture, time, or religion. Other meaning of tradition is the habit of hereditary activities from ancestors who carry out rituals. The reality of Indonesia as a diverse cultural area with a variety of different ethnic groups shows the basis of the life of the region. Preserving tradition during a pandemic is very important. This is because the resilience of regional culture plays an important role in building national personality and national identity. The role of the younger generation is also very much needed in the preservation of local cultural arts to avoid extinction. It has a number of activities aimed to preserving local cultural arts. The younger generation can preserve flourishing culture either directly or indirectly. One of the which by establishing of studio. The importance of culture in the East Java is one of the foundations of the nation character. The study uses a descriptive qualitative method by using literature and data that can strengthen the author argument. The urgency of preserving regional tradition. The development of systematic traditional art that used to exist in the community at this time seems to have been marginal due to progress in all aspects of life. Besides that, they have also been displaced by popular culture original from people who are inside and outside the community. The independence of a nation cannot be spared from its ability to maintain the noble values and culture of its nation. Therefore, the existence of the value of local culture, wisdom in the archipelago as an integrated part of the national culture is very necessary. Local culture is the origin culture of particular community group and is a characteristic of the culture of a local community group. Local culture in Indonesia is very diverse because Indonesia is a country that has a diversity of culture originating from various regions. We saw preserve cultural diversity which number value so that there is no cultural shift that can hinder the achievement of national growth. Implementation of tradition amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The implementation of government regulation in the context of acceleration in the handling COVID-19 indicates catalysts for implementing PSBB are needed. The regulated more technical regulating PSBB criteria to be determined. Given that many suspects were not detected during the COVID-19 pandemic, it is likely that many are still in the incubating period. So, to prevent the spread of the disease in an area through individual contact, it is necessary to limit large-scale social activity in the area. Restrictions on certain activities are intended to limit the gathering of large number of people in certain locations. This tradition is a form of cultural preservation that is inherent in society, like the tradition of tahlilan, which is carried out at the house of one of the residents by reading tahlil and intending to send a prayer to the grave expert. In practice, is not much different from before a pandemic, but its basic form, this tradition has undergone a change, namely the policy of maintaining distance and the use of masks. Although some people have implemented health protocols as recommended by the government, there are some residents who do not calmly, like the routine tahlilal that is routinely carried out the Tuesday nights. This tahlilan does not apply the health protocol on the ground that the use of masks can cause shortness of breath. Meanwhile, other traditions such as death celebration are still carried on by the community at home by forming a crowd with keeping a distance. Embodiment of cultural resilience through the preservation of tradition. National resilience consists of two syllables, namely national and resilience. Resilience comes from the term resilience, which means being able to withstand pain, being able to control oneself, maintain the situation, persevering, and being patient. While the term national summarizes the meaning of the population of an area that already has a government and so the meaning as unity of the interests of a nation that has become a state. Cultural resilience is the complex that a nation that includes all the interconnected life of a nation. That involves technicity and commitment and has a capacity to build national strength in meeting and resolving all kinds of obstacles, either directly or indirectly, that will jeopardize cultural preservation. Many artists and cultural actors are affected by the pandemic because artists do not get any income at all. The government has provided financial assistance to artists, including the form of direct cash assistance or BLT, which was held in this year. In addition to providing financial assistance to artists and cultural observers, the government also needs a private solution or a strategy so that arts and culture in Indonesia can continue to develop. Arts and cultural activities that are temporarily and directly prohibited from being held because they have the potential to draw crowds. Art and cultural activities must be accommodated in specific the type of activity while still adhering to health protocols. In one case, inconvenient village Banyuwangi Regency, which a tourist village with a wealth of tradition and culture in the midst of a pandemic, it is still trying to carry out its tradition. In this village, tradition that were once included in the commodification of culture become a festival. In the midst of pandemic, the implementation has returned to its original form. The COVID-19 pandemic can be said to have made culture that was originally commodified by culture return to its initial form permanently and must be carried out so that it is not lost in the modern era. Conclusion. Based on the previous discussion, it can be concluded that the preservation of tradition during the COVID-19 pandemic is very important to do. This is done so that tradition is not eroded and lost in civilization. This paper also gives some example of areas trying to adapt to a pandemic situation but still preserve tradition. One of the interesting things is the change from tradition to have made cultural commodification. Several traditions that have been commodified by presenting evidence to the form of festival have adapted to pandemic situation. The implementation during the pandemic can be said to have returned before it was commodified, namely prioritizing the scars in the tradition and not prioritizing the commercial set of tradition.